Greetings, everyone. Hope all of you are having an absolutely fantastic day. We're back again with Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. Let's get right to it. We got to get through Act 4. We got less than a week. Let's see if we can make that happen. A handsome young man with tousled black hair strolls casually toward the demon surgeon. Oh, master of stitches, artist of the scalpel, and genius of the surgical profession, tell me, is your heart free? The young man has a gloved puppet on his hand, a dragon made of rags with buttons for eyes. He raises it up and begins to ventriloquize loudly. His voice is surprisingly deep. Also, do you have an hour of free time tonight? How about a romantic dinner? Are you trying to flirt with him? The young man gives you a sly wink and continues his conversation with the demon. No, I would not say that my heart is free. Right now, it contains 3 copper rods, 200 grams of enchanted quicksilver, and a fair dose of Lamia liver extract. He pauses and gives the young man an appraising glance. But I could give you an hour or two of my time for something other than dinner. Has anyone ever told you that you have beautiful, smooth skin? I happen to be in need of some. The young man deftly steps aside to avoid the demon's outstretched claws. He jots something down in his notebook. Why don't they even allow me to attempt to speak with them? That's so weird. All right, whatever. What you got,
Pretty
Woljeff?
good, aren't I?
Hey. More interesting recipes. A demon in a blood-spattered apron fussily shoves a few foul-looking chunks of flesh into his apron pockets. His fingers are fitted with horrible steel claws, and you hear the unpleasant sound of metal on metal as he slides them against one another like scissors. He looks up in your direction with an insane grin, and his voice makes your skin crawl. Are you one of the gladiators? Do you need a healer? Or are you here because you want to become more powerful? The demon looks at Windowog with interest. Who created you? How many animals were killed to make you? Your mutations are extremely attractive, and your body radiates strength. He reaches out a hand toward Windowog. Windowog's voice is a soft, almost sultry purr. Touch me, and I'll tear your hands off with my teeth. So please, go ahead. Give me a reason. Who do I need to speak to? No. Oh yeah, who do I need to speak to if I want to fight in the arena? The battle village Selena belongs to Lord Imangaleth, but Gelderfane will kill you if you try to talk to him. You'd be better off speaking with Zeklex. He's the arena steward. Who are you? I am the most important person in the battle blitz. I am a healer, or as they call me, a stitcher. They drag those poor, bleeding fools from the arena so I can stitch them back together piece by piece. And I do mean that quite literally, since most of them are in pieces by the time they get to me. At first, I simply reattach the severed limbs of wounded fighters. Now, however, my methods are far more interesting. Someone from Nocticula's inner circle taught me the secret of grafting flesh. By combining the flesh of different gladiators, I create the strongest, craftiest, most talented fighters. Oh yes, in these chambers, invincible gladiators are born. I am so close to achieving perfection. Soon, my methods will produce better results than the Hindrian crystals. I do believe I may have a new theory about the origin of mongrels. The Hindrian crystals. Nahindrian crystals are something of a legend here in Alan Shinra. Almost no one knows what they actually are or how to get their hands on them. It all started with a few demons here in the city. These demons suddenly became very powerful in a very short period of time. The transformation happened almost overnight. According to the rumors, these demons received their incredible powers from the Hindrian crystals. Now, all of the Alan Shinra is crazy for these crystals. They're all anyone talks about these days, and all the merchants know that if you call your goods Nahindrian, you can easily double the initial price of your wares. You're not a healer, you're a butcher. The healer smiles proudly. Oh, thank you for the compliment. I am indeed quite proficient with an axe and a cleaver. And, of course, I am very good with the thin blade that I use for the dissection of the jugular vein. You know, not every specimen turns out to be viable. And I have such a soft, tender, and compassionate nature. I just can't bear to watch others suffer. I have to go. The healer turns his attention back to his work. He takes a severed limb from the pocket of his apron and begins to examine it carefully. I just want to say before we do this, because I've never done this before, can you make me stronger? The healer looks at you eagerly. You hear the shrill screech of metal against metal as he rubs his steel claws together excitedly. Ah, for 30,000 gold, I'll stitch you up into something better. Much, much better. Wonderwalk bites her lip in thought. So you just have to kill a demon and stitch pieces of the corpse onto your body? That's all it takes to get the power of a demon? I never thought that obtaining power could be so simple. The demon grins and gives Ember an appraising glance. I can fix you too. Give you new fingers. Would you like that, sweetie? The healer's beady little eyes glisten, and you hear the rasping sound of his knife-like fingers as he rubs them together impatiently. Ember shakes her head with an embarrassed smile. You were so kind and caring. But no, thank you. I don't need new fingers. You should stitch them onto someone else. Please, will you give them to someone who really needs them? Are you sure? All right, fine. Mr. Mad Scientist, sir, let me offer up myself as a subject for your experimentation. Feel free to carve me up and stitch me back together as you see fit. The demon sizes Nanio up and nods approvingly. You'll do nicely. The price is still the same, 30,000 gold. But we'll talk about that later. If you have Sosale in the party when this conversation occurs, he will immediately jump in like, no, please do not do this. This is a horrible idea. I find it interesting that I'm rolling with a crew that's like, hey, go for it. Why not? Let's get started. The healer's eyes light up with sinister enthusiasm. He looks you over carefully and then exclaims eagerly, this will be magnificent. It will be a brilliant operation, a splendid surgery. Oh, just wait until I cut you up and stitch you back together. You'll be my masterpiece. Pay 30,000 gold. I trust your expertise. The healer gives you a mad, sinister grin. You are wise to put your trust in a real artist. Now, it's time for you to scream. Just don't be too loud. It can be distracting when I'm trying to work. Sparks fly, and you hear the screech of metal against metal as he rubs his steel claws together in anticipation.
I crave for adventure.
Okay.
This way.
Demon Graft. Demonic augmented organs grant the wearer +2 natural and armor enhancement bonus to armor class, +2 inherent bonus to checks made to overcome spell resistance, concentration checks, DC attack damage rolls, and all saving throws. However, when your HP falls below 20%, you enter a frenzy and attack the nearest creature until you die or combat ends. I'm good with that. I'm absolutely okay with this. Holy smokes. Yeah, this, to me, this goes right. Am I crazy? This goes right along with being a demon. Yeah. Thank you, sir. You do impressive work. Wow, I thought he jacks you up some sort of way. Ooh, you could make Nanio strong. What does that mean, though? Oh, the demon's face is splattered with blood, but he's grinning from ear to ear. I can't believe it. You're actually alive. I have to admit you had me worried. I was afraid I just wasted a bunch of valuable organs on a failed experiment. Luckily, though, you came through just fine, and everything is healing up nicely. Just wait until you step into the arena. The crowds will love this new and improved version of you. Make Nanio stronger. I'm curious. Please, follow me. You will drown in an ocean of pain, but you'll emerge from it renewed. The healer flexes his steel-clawed fingers. To your surprise, the surgery takes place in complete silence. When Nanio returns, she looks distant and emotionless. Whoa! How do you feel? Fine, I think. She raises her dull eyes to you. When the mad scientist's claws cut into me, I blocked out the pain. Actually, I forgot the pain even existed. If I'm completely honest, I even forgot that I was part of an experiment. Such an awkward situation. Maybe I should do it again. Oh no, that's enough for you. Your body already bears the mark of my genius. The demon turns to you with a smirk. I've already painted on this canvas. Don't tell me I just wasted 30,000 gold on a failed experiment. Science requires sacrifice. When something results in failure, it often leads to progress and prosperity in the end. Her voice is missing its usual confidence. I hope that was worth the cost. Nanio nods, but then she shrugs uncertainly. I presume it was. It's hard to say for sure because I don't remember anything. Still, I hope that in the near future I will observe the effects of this surgical intervention so that I can write an article about it for the encyclopedia. I would be disappointed if the experiment failed due to the forgetfulness of its subject. Wow. Demon graft. Made to overcome. So this actually also helps her a great deal. But I don't feel like being grafted with demon parts fits Nanio's character, so we're not going to do that. But that, in reality, it's a nice little boost for her. That's awesome. I'm glad I did that. Okay. Let me make sure I still got it. Yeah, okay. Now, I could use the help of a healer. The demon dismisses you with a wave of his hand. I don't bother with regular wounds. They are not worthy of my craft. Just drink a potion and you'll be fine. Okay. Lots of cool potions, gloves, and the neophyte. That's a cantrip, dark omen. I don't need any of that. Grant your party total concealment against ranged attacks. Yeah, whatever. Spicy pastry. Claw of Jiska is a +1 flaming short sword. Short sword? Come on now. Who's buying +1 weapons at this juncture? Oh, I think it's taking. Oh yeah, it's taking the inventory from one of my earlier vendors. This is stuff I sold to them. All right, so yeah, this is definitely trash. A stern but tired-looking tiefling observes you politely. His clothes look expensive but tasteful. He's carrying a large bag, and every once in a while, it moves and twitches as if something is inside. Welcome to the Battle Bliss Arena. My name is Zeklex. I am the arena steward. Ermangaleth is the master of the arena, but I help him manage its affairs. Wait, I remember you. You've already performed in the arena. You've made your debut. Did you come here hoping to face a more challenging opponent, or are you simply here to spectate the fights? The tiefling has a surprisingly open and honest face. After all these demons, he looks strangely normal. The tiefling looks you up and down with the calm professionalism of a person doing an unpleasant job with diligence. You wield both blade and magic, a classic approach for the arena. Most of our gladiators do the same, to a greater or lesser extent. The broader your arsenal, the lower the chance you'll face an insurmountable opponent. Ermangaleth. I remember a demon called Ermangaleth. He was a vile, cunning murderer. He had a way with words that was just as deadly as his skill in battle. There's a rustling sound from within the tiefling's bag, and an imp peeks his head out to look at you. He has large, drooping ears and stares at you with huge, unblinking eyes. Then, as if suddenly shy, he darts back into the bag and vanishes from sight. I want all of Ellen Shinra to know my name. I want you to arrange a match for me against your strongest gladiator. We'll do that last. I'd like to talk to Ermangaleth. Then pokes his head out of the bag in surprise. You see how I've aroused his curiosity. His sad, drooping ears perk up with excitement, and he stares at you with his big, round eyes. You wish to speak with Ermangaleth? I'm afraid that's impossible. Our Mangalef never communicates with anyone except his most trusted aides, and Gelderfang is under strict orders to kill anyone who tries to talk to his master without permission. Our Mangalef believes that minimizing his contact with the outside world will make him, the audience in the arena, want him even more. When the leader of the Assassins Guild acted as your chaperone, our Mangalef knew that you were favored by Our Lady in Shadow. You were under her protection and he had to treat you with respect. But you no longer have Yaz by your side. The arena master will assume that Nocticula has lost interest in you. Trust me, he'll try to exploit this new vulnerability the next time he sees you. I'd like to know more about you. The tiefling smiles wryly and addresses the imp in his bag. You see, Crow? This is why we worked so hard to climb the ranks. We wanted to be important, and now look, this stranger wants to know all about us. I guess that means we're finally a big deal. Who are you? I'm the arena steward. My position is prestigious, but my success is hard-earned. My life has not been easy. I grew up on the streets of Shinra. I was a street urchin, an orphan. I'm the result of an act of violence committed against a helpless slave woman. I've always been weak. I've always been surrounded by those who are bigger and stronger than me. All my life, I've had to rely on my wits to survive. Out on the streets, I scrounged around for food and tried to avoid becoming someone else's snack. Fortunately, I had someone to look out for me. The tiefling takes a small piece of dried meat and holds it close to the bag. Quick as a flash, a scrawny paw darts from the bag and snatches up the treat. Crow has been my companion for a long time. He is also my partner in business. Together, we saved up our money one coin at a time. We made allies and sought out opportunities for advancement. We've worked hard to climb the ranks of society. In the beginning, our goals were simple. Never starve again, never live in poverty again, and never fear for our lives again. Trust me, those goals aren't easy to accomplish here in the Abyss. You have to be very influential in the city to achieve any of those things. But we've managed to make our goals a reality. In fact, we've been doing quite well for ourselves here in Shinra. What's your role here? Ermengalef is an artist, not a clerk. That's why I have so many responsibilities. I search for new fighters, I make the fight charts and arrange the fights so that the opponents are evenly matched. And, of course, I organize all of the matches. Unfortunately, my master has a habit of interfering with my work. He's been very involved lately, and as a result, the fights have been terrible. The combat turns into meaningless carnage. There's no skill, no strategy involved, and of course, no one wants to place bets on fights like that. Everyone already knows who's going to win. They aren't even fights anymore, they're just public executions. There's also a form of entertainment, of course, but it's not what our audience wants. Welchett perks up. Bet you say, I wouldn't mind betting a few coins. What's your cut of the winnings? Zeklex's voice takes a monotonous tone, like the rustle of dry, dusty pages in a thick accounting book. Our normal cut is 20%. The number goes down to 10% if the betting ratio is 3-1 against the winner, and it goes up to 30% if the odds are 3-1 or more in favor of the winner. You don't look like you belong in the Abyss. The imp peeks out of the bag, and the tiefling grins as he pats his companion's tiny little head. That's because I like to stay organized. When I was growing up, I made mental lists of all my possessions, my money, my enemies and allies, my schedule, and my goals. I was weaker than everyone else, and these mental calculations helped me to survive. It was the only advantage I had, the only way that I could gain the upper hand, and keeping lists became a habit. I found that it disciplines the mind and keeps my thoughts organized. I am an accountant by nature, and my ability to bring order to a place where chaos reigns has turned out to be a profitable skill. Who is that imp hiding in your bag? The tiefling smiles as a little creature peeks curiously out of the bag. It has big drooping ears, a small round face, and big round eyes that gaze at you curiously. This is Crow. He's my business partner. He also happens to be my familiar. I have no idea how he wound up in the Abyss, but he's not had an easy time of it either. If our paths hadn't crossed, we'd both be dead by now. He's probably the only one I truly trust. The imp fidgets beneath your gaze and finally darts back down into the bag to hide. It is odd to see an imp, an infernal creature, here in the Abyss. The fundamentally chaotic energy of this place must be repugnant to a creature born on the plane of order and evil. Your imp is an infernal creature. How has he managed to survive here in the Abyss? Zeklex looks at you with respect. It's nice to meet a person who knows the difference between an imp and a quasit. Yes, Crow is a devil, though a lesser one. I have no idea how he ended up here, but at the time we met, he was extremely unwell. Staying in the Abyss is not much easier for him than staying underwater would be for a mortal. So that's how I spent the first real money I managed to earn here, on this fine, stolen-to-order bag. It had magic symbols soon inside it that make its interior bearable for Crow. I have no more questions. I'm glad I could satisfy your curiosity. I'd like to know more about the Battle Bliss. What would you like to know? The arena's operations are simple. It functions like a pyramid. The spectators are at the lowest level. Regular gladiators are on the next tier, followed by members of the Nehindrian League. The champion towers above them all, and the master of the arena stands on his shoulders like an omnipotent god. Tell me more about what happens in the arena. The Battle Bliss is a gladiatorial arena. You must understand, fights are a big deal in Shinra. They are the city's primary source of gossip and entertainment, but they are much more than that. These gladiatorial matches serve as a kind of ritual, a daily offering to the demonic way of life. And these daily offerings, these rituals, are performed in the Battle Bliss. In a way, it's more of a temple than an arena. The arena is the only reason this city is still standing. Without the Battle Bliss, the demons would have brought Shinra to ruins long ago. But instead of tearing down the city with their rage and their desire for slaughter, they come here to quench their thirst for blood. You see, the arena gives them a sort of release. It allows them to satiate their lust for violence. Who runs this place? His name is Ermangaleth. He's a Cambion. He was born in the Abyss as the offspring of an incubus and a mortal woman. Incubi are naturally persuasive, but Ermangaleth's father was especially skilled at using his words to manipulate and control. Well, his son inherited his silver tongue. His ability to influence a crowd is unmatched. With just the sound of his voice, he can instantly instigate a riot or make a screaming group of demons fall silent and listen to his every word. When he warms up the audience, the spectators are ready to jump into the arena and fight the gladiators themselves. Who is the strongest fighter in the arena? The champion's title is currently held by an incubus named Gelderfang. He is the deadliest of Mangaleth's fighters and serves as his bodyguard. He is a true artist of death and destruction. Of course, there are other fighters in the Abyss who are more dangerous, but no one can kill like he does. He makes every death exquisite and prolongs the agony and suffering of his opponents. He can transform any fight into a spectacular show. He turns combat into a performance and knows how to create a dramatic spectacle out of the most mundane match. There are only two things Gelderfang wants in life: pleasure and murder. They are his obsession, and he feeds that obsession every time he steps into the arena. After all, everyone in Shinra knows his name, and the audience yells it at the top of their lungs every time he kills one of his rivals. What is the Nehindrian League? It's an odd name, I admit, but it's in keeping with the latest trend. Nehindrian is a very popular word in Shinra these days. The Nehindrian League is led by the arena's current champion, Gelderfang, and only the very best gladiators can become members. The fighters of the league belong to Ermangaleth, but not all of them are demons. Shinra serves as a crossroads between multiple worlds, and fighters come from many different planes to perform in the arena. I've heard of Nehindrian crystals. Do you get them if you're a member of the league? Zeklex gives you a faint smile. They'd like you to believe that, but no. The members of the Nehindrian League are no different than the Nehindrian booze vendor in the tavern or the Nehindrian whip supplier at the Fleshmarkets. None of them actually have access to the crystals. I've heard that Nehindrian crystals contain immense power. Gelderfang would love to have one, and there are rumors that Ermangaleth promised him a crystal in exchange for his services as a bodyguard. Of course, it wouldn't surprise me to find out that Ermangaleth was lying. I'm not sure even he knows how to get his hands on a Nehindrian crystal. I understand. I'm glad I could satisfy your curiosity. I want all of Shinra to know my name. I want you to arrange a match for me against your strongest gladiator. The tiefling falls silent. He looks as though he is calculating something in his head. Finally, he responds. If that is truly your goal, you will have to defeat the current champion. If you kill Gelderfang, your name will be on everyone's lips. But you have to prove yourself if you want to face the champion. A fight with Gelderfang is a big deal here in Shinra, and only members of the Nehindrian League, the elite gladiators of the Battle Bliss, are considered worthy opponents. Killing others just to entertain spectators? These creatures of the Abyss sow death and destruction in such a careless, casual manner. But it is extremely difficult to join the League. You have to slay an active member and take their place. So if you wish to fight the champion, you have to spend a lot of time in the arena. However, if you would like, I can arrange a fight between you and another newcomer. If you can prove yourself in battle, I will be able to find you a match against a more reputable opponent. The tiefling's disrespect evokes something within you. The dark, gruesome beast begins to stir. It reaches into your mind and roars out a single demand. I want his blood. The arena steward does not seem to realize his mistake. He looks at you calmly, unaware of the storm that is brewing within your soul. But I've already fought in the arena. Isn't that enough? I watched those fights. I hate to say this, but Ermangolef matched you against weak opponents. He was afraid that he'd lose his head if anything happened to you. It's not unusual to have such mismatched opponents in the arena, but unbalanced fights don't attract many spectators, and there isn't much glory to be gained from killing a weak opponent. The public hasn't seen your true potential. They haven't seen you fight in a real match. I've killed hundreds of demons. Why should I have to prove myself to anyone? The tiefling shrugs. I'm sure you fought countless enemies back on Golarion, but this is the Abyss. No one cares. If you want the audience to respect you, you'll have to prove yourself in the arena. They won't take you seriously until you show them what you can do. Chaotic requires Demon Mythic Path. Unleash your rage against the insolent steward. The steward must have recognized something in your eyes because his expression changes swiftly. The quick-witted tiefling falls to his knees before you can unleash your anger against him. He clutches his bag protectively, causing a loud squeal from within, and lowers his eyes to the floor as he hastily apologizes. I beg your pardon. I didn't know who you were. This will never happen again. I humbly beg for your forgiveness and promise to do everything within my power to arrange your fight with Gelderfang. Unfortunately, Ermangolef will never agree. Once he realizes how strong you are, he'll never risk his champion against you in a fight. The tiefling cautiously gets to his feet. He watches you warily to make sure you won't immediately execute him on the spot. Then he bows his head respectfully. But I can help. Help me overthrow Ermangolef, and you can have the champion's head. Zeklex lowers his voice conspiratorially. I want to overthrow Ermangolef and take over the battle bliss. Ermangolef is terrible at his job, and he's standing in the way of my ambitions. There's no denying that he is a genius. No one can get the crowds excited like he can, but his management of the arena could not be worse. The fights have turned into a bloody circus. The opponents are never evenly matched. The crowds are losing interest, and the passion of the audience is fading away. I want to change all of that. But killing Ermangolef won't be easy. He's protected by Gelderfang, the current champion of the arena. Since his last incident, Ermangolef has kept Gelderfang close by his side. He is only vulnerable when the champion fights in the arena, but that doesn't happen very often. After all, a fight for the champion title is a very rare, prestigious event. But I'll offer you a deal. You help me, and I'll help you. I'll arrange a fight between you and the champion. I won't be able to make it happen right away, of course, but I'll make sure you get your chance. Together, we'll vanquish our enemies. I'll take control of the arena, and you will become the champion. You'll have the title and all the glory that goes with it. Do we have a deal? Tiefling looks you in the eye as he extends a hand to you. I really, really love the writing of his character as someone who is a true survivalist. Like he knew he needed to get on his knees or his number was going to be up. That reflects someone who has the natural instincts to make it in the abyss, even though he's weaker than everyone else around him. Great stuff, really great stuff. Shake the tiefling's hand. Excellent. I need a strong ally. After we topple Ermangolef, I'll have control over the battle bliss, and you'll have the glory you seek. I'm ready to enter the arena. You're in luck. For the past couple of days, Ermangolef has been obsessed with recruiting new talent. He wants to introduce a promising new fighter into the arena. I think you could play the part perfectly. Ermangolef may even give you a chance to earn a place in the Hindran League. However, if you do become a candidate for membership, be careful. You'll likely be matched up against a very dangerous opponent. Who is my opponent? The tiefling looks questioningly at the imp who is peeking up out of the bag. The imp shrugs and waves his hand dismissively before disappearing again. Zeklex turns back to you. Some nameless newcomer. Will it be a fight to the death? Of course. Every fight must end in the death of a gladiator. It's the most important part of the show. Many of our spectators come here just to watch the gladiators finish off their fallen opponents. They want to see spectacular death scenes and cunning coup de grace. Of course, some fighters survive the ordeal and can be pieced back together, but the tiefling gives you an appraising glance. I wouldn't bet on it if I were you. I'm ready to enter the arena. I wish you good luck. If you die, greet death with a sweet kiss. Better still, slay all of your opponents and return alive and victorious.
Watch and learn.
No time for
You should not be using fire, but you don't have anything else, so fine, whatever. They're just little imps anyway. And that's that. We have a winner. All hail our glorious fighter. He emerges triumphant in this dangerous, violent conflict. He decorated the arena with Mythic guts. Give it up for Asmodeus, the Method Slayer. Hey, who knows? Maybe someday he'll get a chance to fight against a member of the Nahindrian League once they start accepting Mythics into their ranks. How dare you? How dare you? Zeklex greets you politely. How can I be of assistance? Is this your idea of a joke? Were you trying to humiliate me? Why did you put me up against such a ridiculous opponent? Your conversation is interrupted by an eccentric-looking demon with suspiciously bright eyes. Judging from the slur of his words, he's under the influence of some kind of mind-altering substance. Ha! Look at that. That's the Method Slayer. Train hard, boy, and maybe someday you'll be strong enough to fight a real dredge. Zeklex frowns in irritation. With astonishing speed, he produces a dagger from his sleeve and cuts the demon's throat in one swift, clean movement. The insolent demon gurgles, staring at the tiefling in surprise. He slowly sinks to the floor beneath the contemptuous gaze of his killer. The tiefling cleans his blade with what is quite possibly the only handkerchief in the abyss. His face is pale, and he looks slightly sick as he glances at the corpse. What a brute. He mutters quietly to himself. Then he turns to you. Please, listen to me before you draw your weapon. This was an outrage, yes, but it wasn't my idea. This was done on Armangalef's orders. He came up with the brilliant idea to match you up against a method. He thought the crowd would find it funny. I couldn't stop him, but I assure you, this will never happen again. Quick as a flash, Zeklex produces a gold coin from his bag and places it in your hands. Here, this is for you. From now on, you can freely use the transportation arch that is located near the battle blitz. This is one of the privileges afforded to the arena's gladiators. Zeklex lowers his voice and says placatingly, please, don't confront him yet. I promise you will have a chance to make that scumbag pay for what he's done to you. I demand a proper fight. Zeklex closes the bag hastily to prevent the imp's agitated efforts to escape. And I promise that I will arrange a proper fight for you. But first, I need you to do me a favor. The Flayer twins are merely a stepping stone on your path to Gelderfang. It is your fight with him that worries me. But I have thought of something that might help you in your encounter with the champion. However, for my idea to work, I need you to go to the Fleshmarkets and buy a group of gladiator slaves. Now, when I say slaves, I don't mean seasoned veterans. I mean an assortment of rabble and riffraff. This is important because my spy will need to infiltrate their ranks without drawing attention. We were asked to kill those little methods, and we did. Now we are asked to do another bad thing. They do not see us as crusaders anymore. They see us as one of their own. So I need to buy these gladiators at the Fleshmarkets. Is there anything else I should know? There are a lot of slavers at the Fleshmarkets. Armangalef usually buys fighters from Sarzaksys or Worldwound, but you may find other suppliers. Evil. Very well. I'll go buy the slaves. Excellent. If you do this favor for me, you can count on my gratitude in return. I don't like being called the Method Slayer. I want to change my title. There's nothing I can do about that, I'm afraid. The crowd loves it, and that is all that matters to Armangalef. You'll remain the Method Slayer for as long as the audience finds it amusing. I have to go. Zeklex bows respectfully. From the depths of his bag, you see the glint of large, curious, round eyes. All right. Time to head to
Wherever my legs
the middle
carry
city,
me.
but we're gonna go back to camp first and rest. Excellent. The stones of the arch emit a revolting, high-pitched shriek. In response to these vibrations, the particles of ash and grains of sand under your feet float upward. They gather together and violently twist themselves into a whirlwind, at the heart of which an ember of magic flame ignites. The fire becomes brighter until you can see Alan Shinra inside the flames. The city lies beneath your feet, allowing you to see its every spire, every tiny detail of its architectural madness. You spot other magic lights radiating from points on the city's streets. Upon closer inspection, you realize that the light emanate from other arches similar to the one before you. The gold coin with Baphomet's mark, which you found on Darazen's body, reacts to the revolting sound by vibrating. The coin appears to be an enchanted item set to resonate magically with the arch, possibly serving as a tool of some sort. Knowledge Arcana. Figure out what you're seeing. You notice that the entire city appears to be littered with an intricate network of portals, with the arches serving as artifacts, allowing you to access the alien network. Interacting with the arches seems to require formulating a clear request in your mind, at which point the magic will transfer you to another portal along the network. Try to understand why you can't move to the other arches. It's quite obvious that this strange construct was not designed for mundane use, only transporting users to specific arches that are allowed to visit. It's likely that some kind of system of magical marks is used, quite possibly shaped into tangible objects, to provide access to various arches. Before you get one such token, all the destination points will be closed to you. Determine the arch's origin. The stones are cut in quite a rough manner, while the magical symbols appear to be drawn without too much diligence. It's quite unlikely that the architect of such an intricate network would have demonstrated such a lack of finesse. By all appearances, this arch is handmade, somehow connected to the web of portals and illicitly used for personal gain. Touch the whirlwind inside the arc. The magic engulfs your body, drips down your skin, and makes you feel slightly tingly. The vibration becomes wilder, reverberating within your body with a nauseating echo. You feel like a boulder set in the cup of a catapult, ready to be flung at any moment. Use the arch. All right, so you see, we've got camp, the tavern. We have to talk with him for a while. We got a coin from him, and then we just got the arena coin. All right, so this is the camp area. If you go inside here, you could actually go rest, but you don't have to. You have the option here. Far from the eyes of strangers, I can assume my true form, but in Alan Shinra, I will remain hidden. It seems this sorrowful and unsettling place will be what we call home, at least for a time. And you see number 7, can you heal me? Let the flow of light that pours upon you cleanse your soul of all the memories of filth and blood that the abyss so generously shared with you. And now you got all your stuff back. What is our next step? We need to learn who holds the reins of power in Alan Shinra at present. Armed with this knowledge, we will be able to uncover Hepsimir's plans and thwart them. How well known am I among the denizens of Alan Shinra? No one in Alan Shinra knows your name. Yet. Tell me honestly, what do you think of the one you call the champion of Golarion? I would be lying to you if I don't observe you with some trepidation. Sometimes I wonder what will happen if you falter. For power and responsibility represent the most difficult trial of all, and many righteous souls have failed to pass it. I have a question about our mission. Then ask away. You must have a lot of questions. What can you tell me about the Abyss and demons in general? Demons. The hand of the inheritor speaks slowly and heavily, as if trying to break through some inner resistance. They are the youngest race of the outer planes and the wildest in origin. Once, entirely different creatures used to rule the Abyss. Those were Quilpops, the embodiments of chaos. They were much less human-like, but then one entity conjured up the idea that primordial chaos could be mixed with an evil mortal soul, and that is how the first demon was created. No one remembers the name of the creator now, but the creations still live and prosper. They overthrew the Quilpops and became the essence, the soul of the Abyss, and I honestly cannot say which was worse, before humanity was added to it, or now. What do you know about Alan Shinra? Chaos has many faces. When chaos decided to manifest itself in the form of a city, Alan Shinra was born. There are places in the Abyss that are darker, bloodier, more dangerous and deceiving, but I cannot imagine a place whose significance could eclipse that of Alan Shinra. When Nocticula built the city, she employed everything of the essence that ever existed in the Abyss. Demons of all kinds from every corner of this gloomy plain live here. And what is more, the Lady in Shadow opened the city's gates to visitors from other planes, and strangers swarmed the city. Merchants and travelers, mercenaries and explorers, mages and bards, creatures from all planes. Those daring enough to visit the Abyss chose Alan Shinra as their destination. The city is divided by two sets of walls, between which lie the quarters open to outsiders. One set of walls protects Nocticula's guests from the rabble and the poor, who are desperate enough to violate their ruler's orders for a chance to get a coin or two. The other set of walls protects outsiders from the city's nobility, who can flout Nocticula's recommendations without any reason at all, merely on a whim. But do not think that there's a single place in Alan Shinra that is safe, for danger lurks around every corner there. Tell me more about Nocticula. The Lady in Shadow, the first of the succubi kin, and likely the most dangerous demon to have ever been spawned by the Abyss. I cannot tell you much about her, for she cunningly hides in the shadows, eluding the daggers of her foes and the schemes of her rivals. All I know is that she gained power after she overthrew Sarzaksys, who was the lord of shadow demons. She took his powers, his realm, and his subjects, and that merely whetted her appetite. Many demon lords have perished since then, cut down by her treacherous and sudden strikes. With each fallen enemy, her power grew stronger and her glory greater. I cannot tell which of her weapons is more dangerous, her unerring strikes, her seductive charms, her unbridled courage, or her astounding stealth. You must beware of all these dangers. What is so dangerous about Hepzibah? She is the worst of all Baphomet's offspring. She gained this grim title in the bloody conflict with her own brothers and sisters, and she brutally wiped out everyone who stood in her way. She did not even show mercy for her own mother and doomed her to a cruel execution. As a reward for her eagerness and loyalty, Baphomet granted her use of his most cherished tool, the Templars of the Ivory Labyrinth. However, now an even greater threat has arisen under Hepzibah's rule. Unusually powerful demons, the source of whose strength is unknown and most dangerous to us. The Crusaders have encountered such demons only a scant few times, but should an entire army of such fiends appear, Dresden would fall, Neuroscion would fall, then all of Avestan would follow, and even Golarion would not stand a chance against them. Putting an end to Hepzibah's machinations, that is our mission. I see you bless the rocks of this cavern. Indeed, I have. If even on Golarion the Abyss's harmful influence can unsettle mortals and disturb their rest, then what can be said of the Abyss itself, the very heart of pain and sin? But worry not, champion. By the power granted to me by Amadei, I have consecrated these dark caves. You can find respite here, recover your strength, should the need arise. Everything is clear to me now. Our mission is extremely important, so I am loath to withhold any information that may help you. I'd like to ask you a personal question. There shouldn't be any secrets between us, champion. The very instant that Queen Galfrey sent you to this dark place, I swore to myself that I would do everything within my power to ease your burden. Why did you follow me to the Abyss? Because my duty and my honor demanded that I do so. You were facing a great mission and a colossal challenge, while those who remained behind merely had the honor of protecting what you had already liberated from the demon hordes. My heart told me that my help would be needed here more. How does it feel for you to be in a place like this? This is not my first foray into the abyss, though it is the first time I have come here to watch and talk rather than do battle. On more than one occasion, I and other warriors of heaven have descended to this evil and corrupted place to bring retribution to the vile and grant salvation to their victims. For better or worse, heaven and the abyss cannot engage in open war, though I can recall some moments when we seem to teeter on the precipice of just that. All we can permit ourselves are raids and skirmishes along the border. Is ultimate victory over the demons even possible? It is, but it's not the kind of victory you dream of. The hand of the inheritor remained silent for a while before speaking in a heavy, hollow voice. The abyss lives while evil lives in the hearts of mortals. Demons don't just appear from nothing. Most of them originate from the souls of people who committed themselves to evil while still living. That's why the war with the abyss, should it ever start, may be never ending. The place of each fallen demon will be immediately taken by a new one. That's why our only true chance to secure ultimate victory will emerge only after we exterminate all evil in the world. We must achieve a situation where not a single soul would voluntarily resort to evil deeds, when mortals themselves, by their own free will, turn to the light all at once. But no one in the universe knows how to achieve that, and many who have tried ended up as tyrants and false prophets. May heaven guard me against such a fall. What are your thoughts on Galfrey's latest order? Iyamade has never striven to rule over mortals. She has only guided and helped them, so I should follow her example and never try to interfere with your way of life or question it. What I will say is that I am as certain of the necessity of our mission as I am the sharpness of my blade. What surprised me, and truth be told, unsettled me too, is the cruelty with which my noble sister-in-arms, Galfrey, dispatched you here. The queen has every right to give orders to her commander, but a right without righteousness is worth little. Is there anything you can help me with? I will follow you everywhere, remaining invisible so our enemies will have not the slightest suspicion of my presence. When you need advice, I will give it to you, and when you are stricken by disease, I will come to your aid and dispel it. No matter how long you may have to travel through the abyss, you can always be sure that I am near, and heaven has not forsaken you. How do you hide yourself from the demons? This magic spell turns me into an invisible spirit, hidden from the eyes of everyone who was born in the abyss and whose heart has been blackened by evil. Those who hail from other planes are capable of seeing me if they use magical sight of some kind, as well as those few whose woeful fate was to be born and raised here while carrying light and purity in their souls. But my protection from demons is very effective and will work until I myself decide to appear in my true form to join the battle or help someone in need. I have no more questions. Sincerity between the two of us is very important. I have to go. You will face great challenges in this cursed place. Stay strong, and remember that the fate of Golarion depends on you. All right. Now that we've got all our abilities back, let's head to Middle City. And no, you don't need to switch out with anybody. Oh, he's just permanently got invisibility greater? Whoa, just.
Trail me.
I'm a fan of that, my brother. All right. Okay.
Shall we move? We shall move. Ox. Yas. Adayan. Vorlesh.
Manishrim Suki. Unimosi Travis.
Ox. Yas. Vorlesh. Amna. Eya. Ora. Anik. Efna.
Hey, you know what? Now that I think about it. Ooh. Okay, all of her stuff is lasting for 24 hours now. Oh, that's a comfort. Nice, 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 Ember. Very nice.
Anything new?
Okay, and I
We'll
missed
make
one
things
thing.
right.
Yep. All right. Let's head up. Hey, it's the Method Slayer himself. Who do you think I am? We know you, outsider. You're our Lady in Shadow's new favorite. You must be a special mortal indeed to be so honored. I want to know more about the city. Do you like it here, outsider? Looking to move here, perhaps? Well, ask whatever it is you want to know. Who runs things in the city? Nocticula, who else? But she's busy sitting in our palace looking pretty and couldn't care less about our business here. This is why our sycophant Shamira, mistress of the harem of ardent dreams, has the final word on the city's affairs. It's not like she cares what's happening either. She just singles someone out, accuses them of some misdeed, and sends them to stew in a cauldron of boiling filth. There's no real rhyme or reason to her behavior. She just does it to keep everyone in line. And, well, it works. Though her power isn't unlimited, there are others in the city whose word carries a great deal of weight. Take Samira, for example. She has a great deal of influence despite being new here, not to mention a demon born of Baphomet. The city is her playground. Shamir is the only one she treats as an equal. Stuck up bitch. If I were you, I'd steer clear of Baphomet's scheming jerks, the lot of them. Lady of Alexia in the upper city, she's like the leader of Alan Shinra's elite. She's always gentle, speaks softly, never rips out at anyone's throats in the street. All in all, I've never met a more sinister and grim creature in my entire life. Her Mangalef, the master of the Battle Bliss, also commands some authority. He's a psychopath, even by local standards. This one time, he put on quite a show. He invited all the scum in the lower city to a free performance in the arena. Then he locked the gate and let loose a deep-sea monster in the stands and announced it would cost 10 eyeballs per demon to leave. Do you know Burgaz? He used to have 4 eyes. Now he has 1. Ah, such slaughter. It still makes me giddy with excitement. Among the succubi, Chavarro is in charge. She's an angry bitch, but she acts sweeter than the blood of a righteous man. Monago used to run the 10,000 Delights until Chavarro found her way in. Must be quite a weasel, that one. Come to think of it, this city's chock full of bosses. Anywhere you have 2 demons, one will always be trying to crush the other under its boot. What are the local laws like? It's not like anyone in Alan Shinra cares about laws, so we have almost none. Well, there are guards at the gate to keep riffraff out of the really nice places. Nocticula prohibits anyone from laying a finger on visitors from other planes. We're in the trading hub of the Abyss, see? Everyone is welcome. Please come again, thank you very much. But don't unclench your bowels just yet. All the above applies only to the real movers and shakers. Small fry are either eaten or enslaved. The slave cages are crammed full of extraplanar guests. Ha! The guard takes a good look at Woljev, sneers and adds, and one more thing, kid. Stealing isn't forbidden in Alan Shinra, but neither is ripping the hands off thieves. Woljev sulks, muttering, looks like all guards are jerks no matter what play they're on. I see. That's awesome. I want to go through. The demon winks at you and starts picking his teeth. Go right ahead then. It's not like anyone would dare stop you. If you have Nocticula's favor, all doors in Alan Shinra are open to you. I have to go. So you do. I tell Our Lady in Shadow how watchful her guards are. We've already killed 3 intruders today, and it's not even lunchtime. Excellent. Oh, I forgot to put on some spell resistance. Let me do that. And then we'll approach this next area. Oh, you know what? No, we're already getting that spell resistance boost from Radiance, right? That should be enough. I shouldn't have to manually cast spell resistance. We're going to test it out. We'll see. Yep, we got that. 5 plus the wielder's class level. Okay. Class level, though. What does that mean? Here. Flat-footed. Dag, there's nowhere where it specifically tells you what your spell resistance is. I don't think. Yeah. Interesting. Alright, fine. Whatever. We'll continue on. And let's see. And that's that lower platform we already went to. So because we've already been there, we don't have to go there now. This demon looks frail and sickly, especially in comparison to the mighty entourage that surrounds him. His voice sounds dull and tired, but his demeanor is calm and self-assured. He clearly believes himself to be in full control of the situation. A mortal with mythic abilities. How fortunate that you have made your way to the abyss. Moreover, you have come to Alan Shinra, which makes things even more convenient for me. Yes, what a stroke of luck. You see, I need you to be my test subject. Who are you? The demon remains silent for a moment. Either he is hesitant to reveal his name, or he simply enjoys prolonging the suspense. I am Mutasafen. I am, at present, Hepzibah's most trusted alchemist. I am on an urgent mission for her. Perhaps you can even guess what it is. Xanther Vang was working on something similar in your Worldwound. Of course, it was a mistake to entrust such work to someone who wasn't a demon. He did not fully appreciate the honor he had been given. No wonder his enhanced demons couldn't protect him. But it does not matter. I am superior to him in all respects, and I keep better pets. Greetings, fellow scientists. May I ask, what is your specialty? What experiments do you undertake at work and in your spare time? Would you like to conduct a joint experiment with me? Piss off. Surely it's dangerous for such a valued scientist to stroll around Alan Shinra ambushing enemies. Mutasafen's voice remains flat and indifferent. Believe it or not, I am in absolutely no danger. You need me to be what? Something to study, take apart, test. For the first time, you hear enthusiasm in the demon's voice. You see, I actually like you very much, though I doubt my way of expressing it will bring you much enjoyment. I'm afraid the demons you've met previously have given you the wrong impression about our kind. You may think we only want to poison and destroy, especially when it comes to crusaders and their leaders. But that's not who I am. I am a different breed. I love everything that is new, unexplored, and untested. And I'm quite positive that if I get enough of your blood and tissue, I could create something new and unique from them. Angels, for example, make excellent fuel for our machines. What uses could be found for such an unusual mortal? So you're going to attack me, or... Yes, let's get started, shall we? He turns around. Servants, you don't have to take this specimen alive. I just need the body.
I see blood.
Boom. All right, Windowog. Are you close enough to? You're not.
They'll beg me to stop.
You're not close enough either. Oh, actually, you need to get a little closer, but it's fine. Ooh. Interesting. Start with a little bit of that. We'll save. But for these other two, not so lucky. All right. Bam. Oh.
Cover me, all right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, you're not a fan. You're not a fan at all. Don't worry, you'll learn to love it. And yep, both of you. Oh, all three of you. Oh yes, I'll take it. That missed. That missed too. Excellent. Is he close enough? He's not. Oh well. I can turn on rage at least.
Burn! Slice!
All right.
Behead!
Oh, window. It's time to get to business.
No match for
Oh
me.
yeah. That was educational. Perhaps too educational. I must take my leave. I'm so sure. And Darren. Yep. He's trying. Look at him trying to get away. That's fine. Oh, come on. Come on now. You got less help. Excellent. And then Woljif. Oh man, you're not right next to him? Ah, crap.
Stab
oh,
you
wow.
or zap you? Why not both?
Oh, wow. Yeah. Go ahead. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. What was that? Whole lot of nothing. All right.
May I see your entrails,
Warding?
please?
Wenduog. Why aren't you getting a full attack against him, Wenduog? That's kind of weird, but whatever. Let's end this. Excellent. A monstrous shadow appears somewhere at the edge of your vision. It does not seem to be in a hurry to approach and keeps its distance as it begins to speak. The shadow's voice is very strange. It is constantly shifting. One moment it sounds young and melodious, and the next it rasps and rattles with age. However, despite the different intonations, the voice has a stern, ominous quality that never changes.
I heard your toy soldier crusaders had taken over the Midnight Vein and the rift located there. But I never thought you'd have the nerve to descend into the abyss. I assumed you'd block the underground passages, put guards out by the rubble, and sit there, shaking, waiting for someone to attack you again.
I know that fiend. Champion, this is the Echo of Deskari, the avatar of our arch-enemy. He is a mighty, cunning, and vengeful opponent. He cannot see or hear me, but he will pounce if he knows I am here. He hates everything related to Iomedae. Be cautious.
If you want to know more about him and face him more, choose the Angel Path. The Echo of Deskari. I know who you are.
You come from the land of Iomedae's servants. And Iomedae's servants know me, for I have killed many of them.
What do you want from me?
It may surprise you, but nothing. You overestimate your importance, mortal. You probably think your victories in Dresden and the Midnight Vein have dealt us a fatal blow, don't you? But my lord's hordes are endless, and there are other rifts in the wound that will serve our purpose when the hour comes. So no, I did not come here for you, mortal.
So, after being defeated in Canabres, Dresden, and the Midnight Vein, you no longer think those places are significant. How convenient.
Look back across the history of the Crusades and remember how many times you have been defeated. A few scattered victories mean nothing. I was looking for Mutasafen. I need to speak with him. I stumbled upon you by accident.
And why do you need Mutasafen?
Do I really need to answer that? Well, I suppose there's no harm. Mutasafen is clever enough to work with Nahindrian crystals, and he is a demon. We can finally stop using former mortals like Xanther and Areelu as servants. I had a task for him. It's unfortunate that you interfered with my plans, but that's all right. They will soon come to pass anyway.
The paths of evil can be a strange labyrinth. They are not always rational or straightforward. The Echo of Deskari himself could have been considered mortal. After all, the Demon Lord molded him from the souls of many mortal followers. Yet despite his origins, he still despises Xanthur and Areelu.
What a shame. The demon you are looking for ran away from me in a panic.
I doubt Mutasafen even knows how to panic. You did not pose a real threat. He could not be killed through conventional methods. He left because there was nothing else for him to do here. Also, I'm sure he was in a hurry to explain to Hepsamira why he wasted a few demons on such a stupid escapade. She will not be happy about that. Oh no, she most certainly will not.
If you don't want to fight, then you can go your way and I'll go mine.
Begone, and hope we do not meet again. You will still perish in the abyss, but death by my hand will be far, far more painful than any other possible demise you might suffer here.
The abyss is full of hideous creatures, but you have just met one of the worst. The Echo of Deskari is an old enemy of mine. He is both vile and cunning. I wish I could comprehend his dark machinations, but I do not understand why he has revealed himself to us in this way. It seems unlikely that he would come here just to gloat. The angel falls silent, lost in thought. All right.
Pretty good, aren't I?
Okay, and we already have been down that way as well. So this is where, that's where we're going to go, but not just yet. Commoner slave. Come on. Assassin, 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 assassin. Yaz flashes you a dazzling smile, and you notice that his teeth have been decorated with delicate filigree. The dental work looks new. It must have had it done recently. Greetings, mortal, and welcome to the best Assassins Guild in Alan Shinra. Of course, it's also the only one in Alan Shinra since we killed off all our competitors. What brings you here? Do you want to get rid of someone, or are you interested in the job opportunity I promised? The translucent image of a horned figure appears beside Yaz. The horned creature is scowling furiously and launches into an angry tirade. Yaz, you said a bunch of dimwits to deal with the Fleshmarket steward. They didn't get their target. And do you know why they botched the job? They didn't bother to find out what he looked like before they started slaughtering everyone. I want you to kill those incompetent idiots right now. Yaz is about to respond with an angry retort, but the figure disappears before he can say anything. Why did you ask me to come here? Yaz hesitates for a moment. He pretends to smooth out a few wrinkles in his extravagant attire. I want to hire you to kill someone, a serious, dangerous target that my employees can't handle, a demon named Armaketh. He is a leader of Alan Shinra's shadow demons and a well-known aristocrat in this city. However, that doesn't mean he's invulnerable, does it? I will pay you generously for his death. More importantly, I will become your ally. From what I've heard, you've been wandering around Alan Shinra, taking risks and getting into all sorts of dangerous situations. You might find yourself needing a few allies. It looks as though you decided to settle in the abyss. It's much easier to live in Alan Shinra when you have influential friends. Lucky for you, I'm influential, and I'm friendly. I'd like more information about the target. Armaketh, the tyrant of the dark frontiers. It's a ridiculous title if you ask me, but you shouldn't underestimate him. He is a dangerous and formidable opponent. He's old, arrogant, and mighty. He was one of the first to pledge to Nocticula after the death of his previous master, Viraxius. That was millennia ago, but even at that time he was known as a dangerous fighter. Like all shadow demons, he has a special talent for possession, and he commands an army of slaves, shadow demons who steal secrets, treasures, and the bodies of hapless mortals for him. Where can I find Owlcat? His lair is located in the middle city. Look for the place where the shadows are thickest and the darkness smells of pain and suffering. That's where you'll find him, surrounded by his treasures. I personally have no interest in his belongings. I simply want him dead. Once you kill him, you can keep all of his possessions. I want to know more about shadow demons. They are thieves and body snatchers. What more is there to say? They are freaks of darkness. Stripped of their flesh, they have perfected the art of stealing bodies from others. They also create shadow blood, the most exquisite, powerful potion that can be found in the abyss. Mortals willingly trade their bodies to shadow demons for a single drop of this wonderful essence. Why do you want Owlcat dead? Yaz shrugs and replies indifferently. No reason. A petty aristocrat intrigue that made us enemies. Or I dislike him as a person. Or maybe there's no reason at all. After all, we are aristocrats. We circle one another like sharks in the water, and it's either eat or be eaten. I'll do it. Yaz gives you a bloodthirsty grin. Good luck, brave one. Do you know an assassin named Nazirius? It tried to kill me. Yaz wrinkles his nose in disgust. Of course, Nazirius is a complete pain in the ass. What a grim, terrible creature. It's a loner and refused to join the guild. I sent my best assassins after it on multiple occasions, but they never came back. Please tell me you killed that tongue-tied Fae. I'll give you the reward for its head immediately. I spared its life. You shouldn't have let it live. That miserable creature keeps making me lower my prices. It's obsessed with killing. What if it decides to work for free? Clients will go to it instead of paying the guild for our services. So next time I do demon, I'll go ahead and kill him. Who was that vicious creature? Yaz smiles confidently, but you notice the fear in his eyes. That is Horzala, Hepsamir's younger sister. Recently, she has been taking part in the affairs of the guild. I'm actually looking for Horzala's sister. I wonder if I should talk to her about Hepsamira. I don't think it would do you any good. There's no love lost between Horzala and Hepsamira. They aren't exactly close. Do you know how many of her siblings Hepsamira has killed to get Baphomet's attention? She even killed her own mother. Hepsamira will not allow Horzala anywhere near her. She's too afraid her little sister will set her up and use her corpse as a footstool. I want you to tell me about yourself. Yaz frowns at you suspiciously. Nope, we already went through all that. I have no more questions. Always glad to help, mortal. I have to go. Yaz nods indifferently as he strokes the gilded hilts of his daggers. So long, mortal. Okay.
This way.
Excellent. Now let's head down. Welcome to the Fleshmarkets, the best place to buy living, healthy flesh. Boom, 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 boom. Arvar Uravok Zark. Master Sarzaksys is delighted to behold Lady Hepsamira and Lady Shamira. It is a great honor for him. How may he assist you? Hepsamira is looking to buy some slaves, the best slaves. It's for an important job. Vark Tabar Glek. Allow me to present this fine specimen, an extraordinarily belligerent, destructive, and vicious slave. He killed 7 hunters before his capture. Shut your mouth, meatball. Your breath stinks. I don't need gladiators or bodyguards. I'm looking for a pack of strong demons, ones who are not very bright and can obey orders. Vroxball. In that case, perhaps my lady would be interested in this batch of creatures recently captured in the lower city. They are all strong and quite stupid. Hepsamira, what do you want with these puny creatures? They're small fry, fit only to be cannon fodder for the Crusaders. I would suggest... They seem fine to me. Finish the preparations, then send them to the harem of ardent dreams, and be quick about it. All right. We'll make our way around the room. A lean old man with his back as stiff as a pike staff cast a piercing look at you. His gray hair and luxurious sideburns grant him an imposing and significant demeanor. Greetings. I am Count Christoph Rolano. I have the honor of serving as a venture captain of the Pathfinder Society, heading the branch of the society in Alan Shunra and its adjacent territories. If you need the services of Pathfinders, I can be of assistance. Casting a sharp look at you, Christoph hands you a sealed letter. I admit, your appearance here did not surprise me, because I recently received this letter. It is addressed to you, and I have held it in anticipation of your arrival. There you go. Read that. He's basically saying your Hilor is saying that his daughter, he believes his daughter's here, and he wants you to look into it. How did Hilor deliver this letter to you? Christoph smiles with amusement. The Pathfinder Society has many agents across many different places. They, along with a touch of magic, provide us with the most widespread and effective mail delivery service you can imagine. What's in it? The tone of the venture captain is cold, like it's been just delivered from the crown of the world. I am not in the habit of reading letters addressed to others, and I have no idea why you would think otherwise. However, knowing venture captain Hilor, I would assume that it's about his persistent vendetta against a dangerous wizard called the Spinner of Nightmares. Take the letter. My duty has been done. I want to help the society by providing funds. The society has fixed charity rates preventing corruption. I personally find this practice very wise. A donation for the prisoners of the Abyss is 50,000 gold coins. The price is high, but if it will give freedom to the unfortunate, so be it. Base profit is not worth more than a life. The amount is unacceptable. That is rather unfortunate. Our mission could use some help. Tell me about yourself. I am a noble, a good Asmodean, and a Pathfinder who earned the honor of being sent with the most unwanted task to the most repulsive point in the world, and ready to provide you with a few good fighters. What else are you interested in? Who are you? The old man lifts his chin and carefully strokes his amazing sideburns. Christoph Rolano of Long March, a hereditary Count of Cheliax, adventure captain of the Pathfinder Society, at your service. The Pathfinder Society has long planned to open a branch in the Abyss. For obvious reasons, such an appointment didn't make anyone especially happy. However, as people of honor, we Pathfinders of my lodge couldn't let squeamishness stand in the way of duty. All of us volunteered for this mission, and then the Decemvirate chose me as the most suitable candidate. Why were you sent to the Abyss? The venture captain shrugs. To buy slaves, of course, or rather redeem slaves. The Pathfinder Society sent me to provide help to dwellers of Golarion who have been enslaved by demons. Every day I go to the slave market with a bag of gold, and I return to our shelter with a crowd of poor folks whose freedom I managed to buy. Unfortunately, there are always too many slaves and too little gold. We send the ones we save to Golarion. Some of them are opportunists and fighters who are unlucky enough to be in prison. They are grateful to the society and are ready to provide services to repay us for their rescue. When people who are looking for mercenaries contact me, my charges go to serve them, and the payment for their services fills our coffers for continued redemption of slaves. Evil. Ransoming slaves is stupid. You just make the demons stronger with your gold. I agree with you completely. We are literally sponsoring their raids. I suspect that a boycott forcing them to shoulder the cost of even a single generation of prisoners will be enough to put an end to this monstrous practice, slavery for profit. In Cheliax, they're also slaves, but the slavery we have and the slavery in the Abyss are completely different things. We practice limited stripping of personal rights, but it's regulated by law. Here, they wreak sheer savagery, treating sentient beings as mere cattle. What's it like living in the Abyss? Christoph scans the landscape slowly with dignity and then says demurely, abominable. The Abyss is a savage place where everything that can be designed in a wrong way is. Everything is clear. If you have any questions, please contact me, Commander. I have to go. Have a good day, Commander. So you can use him if you want to respect your people or if you need to purchase a mercenary.
You require my unbiased opinion?
A stern-looking demon stands before you, bristling with what seems an arsenal of weapons, and his copious scars suggest he's been hacked to pieces more than once. His face is hidden under a grotesque obsidian mask attached to his flesh by thin straps ending in hooks. The hooks are threaded into the skin and the wounds bleed profusely as if inflicted mere moments ago. The mask resembles a sinister black mollusk enveloping the face of its victim. When he speaks, the slaver's voice is muffled. "Greetings, stranger. I am Warlong, Legend of the Battleless. Are you looking to buy some battle slaves, or do you need weapons for you and your servants?" Show me the weapons you are selling. My gladiators come from a range of planes and are accustomed to fighting in different styles, so I have quite a wide selection. I am positive you will find something that fits your hand, no matter how many hands nature gave you. The slaver chuckles, pleased with his own joke. The items I have here are the best examples of Nahindrian weapons and armor. Why do you keep calling them Nahindrian? Rumors have been going around about some magical Nahindrian crystals that grant immense power to their owners. No one knows for certain where they come from or what they really are, but everyone desires them. Alan Shinra has become obsessed with all things Nahindrian. That's why everyone in Alan Shinra calls top quality goods Nahindrian now. Show me what you got. Got a Psy, which, +5 axiomatic Psy. Automatically confers critical hits against flanked enemies and a crit range of 18 to 20 instead of 20. Sling Staff, the will is +5 corrosive Sling Staff. +3 Greatsword. +5 on saving bonus against necromancy spells. +4 axiomatic nunchucks. +4 half plate. +4 mithril shirt. +4 light shield. +4 short spear. Ooh, this got a +5 rapier? Wow, I never noticed that. This belt grants his wearer an enhancement bonus of +4 to dexterity and strength. Whenever the wearer of this belt lands a killing blow, they get a +4 morale bonus on the next attack. That sounds like something Windowell would benefit from. Let's display of power. This belt of +6 grants his wearer a 15-foot aura that makes all enemies in range suffer a -2 penalty on will saving throws. This is also very useful for me. You got a +4 Tongi, +4 Falcata, +5 Kama, +5 Sickle, +5 Short Sword, +5 Bastard Sword, +5 Bleeding Longbow. Damn. Bleed long confers critical. The enemy suffers 1d6 direct damage for every 5 feet that the enemy travels for 2 rounds. Involuntary movement included. That's fascinating. We'll check that out. +4. +5 Javelin. +4 Earthbreaker. +4 Dwarven War Axe. +4 Armor. This +4 Breastplate makes the wearer's first spell cast in any combat encounter as though a combat encouraging, as though using an encouraging spell. Interesting. +3 Longsword. Whenever the wearer of this helm successfully charges an enemy, that enemy must pass a reflex saving throw or suffer a -2 penalty to AC and attacks for 3 rounds. That's interesting. +4 Chainmail. +5 Frost Double Sword. Wow. He's got some good stuff. Selling. Excellent. Okay. I'm looking for slaves for the gladiator fights in the arena. I'm selling death itself. Death lurks in my gladiators' hands and in their eyes. They can kill so swiftly, you will not even see them strike. They can kill so slowly, their opponent's death makes their spectators shiver in ecstasy, and they embrace their own death with such dignity that their names soar from the lips of the crowd into the dark sky, straight into the hands of merciful death. The gladiators, a mix of all races and ages, do indeed look tough and dangerous. Their powerful bodies, bloodthirsty gazes, and deft yet casual grips on their weapons show them to be true masters of their art. They resemble a pack of predators at rest before a bloody hunt where they will rip, tear, and gut their prey. The glances they exchange are amiable but not warm, for tomorrow each may have to kill the other in front of a screaming crowd. Show me the ones you're selling. Oh, that's it. Okay, fine. There's glory to be gained by fighting in the arena, you say? There certainly is. The gladiator fights are the most popular entertainment here in Alan Shinra. There's no better way to acquire fame and glory than to step into the battle bliss and take another's life. If your slaves are that good in a fight, why don't they rebel and free themselves? The arena is their home, the other gladiators their family, and the fight's their sole purpose in life. Fighting is their only path to glory and a carefree life of luxury. But to win in the arena, you need a distinguished and influential master who will provide you with an experienced trainer, good weapons, decent food, and skillful lovers to solve your wounds. But would such a distinguished and influential demon take on just any no-name wannabe? Of course not. That's why, when a demon wishes to purchase a gladiator for the arena, they come to me, and the best fighters pay enormous sums to become my slaves and trainees. I'm their only hope of making it to the top. Did I hear that right? People pay to become your slaves? It is a rare moment that I find myself lost for words, but this is one of them. Your statement is a logical paradox. Can't you see that a declaration of speechlessness disproves the premise of said declaration? Who are you? I am Warlong Black Mask. I was a champion in the arena, and I fought and killed in the name of my mistress Shamira. I worship her. I was her slave and her bodyguard. She was flattered by the many killings dedicated to her honor and by the shouts of the crowd chanting her name. But then I had a dark revelation. I realized Shamira was not worthy of my worship. She owned me, but my true mistress was the one that entered the arena with me, her hand in mine. Death. So I dedicated my next victim to her instead of Shamira. My mistress was enraged. She arranged a fight in the arena, one I had no hope of winning. I was hacked and cut, torn apart, choked, ground to dust by magic, and impaled on spears. But still, I did not die. Any remains were stitched back together piece by piece. Death was with me that day, and I returned even more powerful. But the fights lost their appeal after that, and a mortal gains no glory fighting mortals. So I left the arena, and I no longer kill by my own hand. Now I offer my gifts to death by the hands of the gladiators I train. I take their names and their dreams, and, in return, I give them weapons and the dark revelation of death. What is this mask you wear? The first champion fought wearing this mask. The final champion will fight wearing it on the day this world ceases to exist. In this mask, I was invincible, and I conquered the battle bliss and made all Alan Shimra bow before me. I thought to pass it to Gelderfang, my apprentice, but despite his many talents in the art of killing, he loved his life far too much. He was afraid of death, too frightened to fight me and take the mask. He is not a true gladiator, not a real champion, but no one, aside from the true children of the arena, is capable of understanding this. This mask is strikingly different from the ones we were looking for to solve the riddles in the nameless ruins. Still, it's unique. I would like to examine it. Honored demon, hand it over immediately for an experiment. I promise to try not to break it. No. Please? No. I'll mention your name in the encyclopedia. Over my dead body. Fine. Nanio turns to look at you, expectation in her eyes. Among us thieflings, pulling a bait and switch like that gets you punched in the face. Walter gingerly touches his right cheekbone. Attack the demon. I'm doing this for science. I am a gladiator. When I see death coming, I do not flee. I kiss her dry lips with passion. The arena is eternal, and thus we are also eternal. Kill me, and you will be able to wear this mask. The gladiator grabs their weapons. Defend your master, brothers and sisters. Show them what you're worth, and the crowd will fight for the right to buy you, and the arena will bow before your might.
Let's have fun.
Okay, Darren. There's a whole lot of people here. No actions. Come on, man. You serious? Fine. We'll keep it simple. There we go. Woljev.
Distract them for me.
Okay.
I'll rip you
I
apart.
attack one person anyway. Oh, this is definitely a time for some lightning. There we go.
Let the attack commence.
Ooh. Oh. Yep. I think we've gotten to that point where we're going to have to start putting death ward on everybody. Somebody just lost a level, and I'm pissed off. What in the hell? Why can't I use this? Why are they denying me this? I'm so confused. So thoroughly confused. All right. Go ahead. Okay. Wow, she doesn't have anything else she can do to everybody, right? Not really. Except she can go this route. There we go. All right, now
Time to share your
let's get it
treasures.
popping. There we go.
No match for me.
You're out of here. You're out of here. Ah, man. You know what? There's enough of you. I don't see why we wouldn't go ahead and pop this again. There we go. 53. Took out another one of them. Another level loss. That's unfortunate. It's just you two left. Oh yeah. Excellent. Excellent.
I will see you tomorrow.
Fails to overcome spell resistance. Okay. Nothing's perfect. That's more than a little annoying.
Cover me, all right?
Okay. Oh, window out. Yeah. Let's handle this.
Beg me to stop.
Worldlong's lifeless body lies at your feet. A bloody mist rises from his wounds. It is impossible to survive such wounds, yet you hear a voice coming from beneath the obsidian mask. Didn't I tell you I am immortal? You've killed this body, but I am still here, right in front of you. The mask grins and winks at you. At It looks like an ordinary mask, but is it really? Let's conduct an experiment. Nanio carefully examines the mask on the face of the dead demon. Smells of decomposing flesh, quite specific. Tastes like rotten meat. Ow! What are you doing, you stupid creature? Take your tongue out of my eye socket immediately. Please, avert your gazes while I throw up. Nanio wipes her mouth with her hand. Here's my verdict. This is an ordinary mask that contains an evil spirit with a tendency to mentally subjugate any person who wears it. The experiment is concluded. Thank you for your attention, everyone. Are you a mask? A living mask? So it was you I've been talking to all this time. I am the first of the champion of the Battle Bliss, the great warrior and necromancer Worldwound. No one could say how many victories I won because they stopped keeping count. I was belligerent and bloodthirsty, and my gifts impressed death herself. So when my luck turned away from me and my life was bleeding out in the arena, death gave me a gift. She placed my spirit in this mask. So, under different names, I have claimed the champion's title again and again. Is this your body? Of course not. My mortal remains have long since turned to dust and black sludge. This body once belonged to one of my followers. A couple of decades ago, the gladiator wearing my mask perished and I took his body. My magic has kept its flesh in good condition all these years. Sadly, you destroyed this body beyond repair, and now I must find a new vessel. Chaotic. Requires Demon Mythic Path. Rip the insolent mask off Worldwound's face, along with his flesh, if that's what it takes. Your claws sink into Worldwound's face and head, ripping off his flesh. With a crunch and wet smack, you rip the mask from the gladiator, exposing the meat and bone where his face used to be. The voice from the mask sounds frightened. You are powerful. Your wrath frightens me. Wait, do not punish me. I will serve you faithfully. I'll share my power with you, and I will never think of killing you like the others. The masked voice is wheedling and obsequious, just as a servant should sound when addressing their master. That's awesome. I don't know what Lich does for that particular section, but Angel just uses Holy Flyer and obliterates it. Okay, Falchion +2, Bardish +3. Got some full plate armor. Obsidian Master the Champion. The wearer of this mask is a +10 competence bonus on intimidation and mobility skill checks. In addition, whenever the wearer of this mask lands a killing blow, they gain temporary hit points equal to the killed enemy's strength modifier for 5 rounds. Mystic Grace. This +3 leather armor is made from very light and delicate leather, increasing max dexterity bonus by 1 and decreasing arcane spell failure chance by 10%. He also grants the wielder a +2 bonus on caster level checks made to overcome spell resistance. All right. Hide of a magical creature, okay. Can't use that yet to get back here. The eyes of the translucent Merilith carefully observe her surroundings. It seems this is not merely an image, but a projection of the creature's consciousness, while her physical body is located somewhere far from here. Next to the Merilith fidgets a shriveled mandrake, which utters the occasional displeased shriek. Ah, visitor from another plane. I am Remissa, also known as Sloudskin, and I am no simple vendor, but a true artist of the slave trade. My warehouse currently stands empty, but we can always arrange for a custom order. What would you like to acquire? Perhaps your enemy's son or daughter, bound by magic and powerless in the face of anything you might wish to do to them? An attractive person who once dared reject you? The little brat who bullied you as a child? Alan Shinra is the city where all your dreams come true. The Marilith licks her lips, especially if they are dirty, bloody, and sweet dreams of possession or revenge. What do you mean by artist of the slave trade? While others trade for material gain, I do it for art. Unlike others, I am not involved in the faceless shipment of goods. Each slave who passes through my hands has a personality. Each sale is a spiritual experience. Not long ago, I sent my hunters to track down and capture a brave rebel fighting for the freedom of his people. And then I sold him, chained and dressed as a pleasure slave, to the tyrant who had enslaved his homeland. Some may call it cliche, but I call it classic. So, what I see standing here is just your projection. Certainly, it is not safe to appear in the flesh markets in person, especially for someone like me. You see, before I switched to this line of work, I was a humble gardener. I used to grow mandrakes. The Marilith pats her ugly pet on the head. It is a well-known fact that the mandrakes grow if you water an ordinary weed with demon blood, or if you plant it in a demon's corpse. The allies, lovers, and masters of those I turn into fertilizer are still searching for me. Thus, I conduct my business remotely in the same way when I have slaves to sell. I first show their projections, and only after they're sold do I deliver them to the buyer. I need gladiator slaves. That's not my area. I grew tired of the battle bliss. I used to work with them, and rather often at that. I'd arrange for siblings, lovers, or a parent and child to battle in the arena. My best scenarios in this vein have already been staged to great acclaim, and I've yet to devise new ones. Come and ask me again in 50 years or so. I'm leaving. Oh, let's make sure we loot this. Leave nothing behind. What's that? Jaws of the Jackal. Come on. These gauntlets grant a profane vigor effect and +2 bonus to natural armor to all evil creatures summoned by the wearer of these gauntlets. If the wearer summons a Thanadaemon, they grant it a greater profane vigor effect and a +4 natural armor bonus to AC. If the wearer summons any good outsider creature, it will attack the wearer. Interesting. Is my summoner creature going to be evil? Well, it's going to be Aeon, so. And I don't think multiple versions of the Thanadaemons come out, so I don't think I'd be using that, but who knows? Who knows what the future holds? A demon who looks like a ball of lumpy, melting flesh hovers in the air. He clenches a whip in his hand. The demon emanates an aura of confidence and authority. He snorts sternly at a skinny tiefling standing nearby, whose eyes are skillfully sewn shut with black silk thread, studded with diamond chips. The demon mutters something incomprehensible to you. The tiefling speaks to you in a soft voice devoid of emotion. Master Sarzaksys welcomes you to the Fleshmarkets, visitor from another plane. He noticed right away that you are a person of means. Though he himself has no interest in doing business with you, your presence benefits the Fleshmarkets, so Master Sarzaksys is prepared to spare you some of his time. This slave will interpret his words for you, for he loathes speaking in any language except the one used in his homeworld. The Sutra's hideous face is marked with desperation. Overcoming his pride, he reaches out to you with his gnarled hand, beseeching your help with this humiliating gesture. I'm looking for slaves for the gladiator fights in the arena. Master Sarzaksys regrets that he must refuse you. He supplies gladiators exclusively to the Nihindrian League, maintaining the high quality of its fighters. Master Sarzaksys suggests you speak with other vendors whose goods are not as exclusive but far more affordable. Point at the Sutra. So actually, why did Hepzibah and Shamira buy your slaves? Lady Hepzibah is extremely secretive. No one knows what she's up to, and no one wants to ask unnecessary questions because the Lady Hepzibah has already proven she is quite powerful. Stooping around her business could be dangerous. When Lady Shamira brings Lady Hepzibah with her and says she needs stupid but strong slaves, Master Sarzaksys never asks questions and does not hold a grudge for the meatball nickname. Master Sarzaksys is very wise and shows restraint. One of the demon guards clearly grows interested in the conversation and unconsciously leans forward. Sarzaksys whips him across the muzzle with a lightning flash blow. The demon's head explodes like a watermelon dropped from a great height. That scared the crap out of me the first time I did this. Man, that came out of nowhere, but does a great job of establishing as someone to be feared. The interpreter comments on the execution with indifference. Master Sarzaksys would like to remind everyone that unnecessary curiosity can be very harmful for servants, especially if it is curiosity regarding the master's business. I'd like to see your slaves. The tiefling's monotonous voice doesn't gain any emotion even when sorrowful, howling wails start to break from his owner's throat. Unfortunately, Master Sarzaksys' current stock was sold off or disposed of during the recent incident. Master Sarzaksys doesn't expect a new shipment anytime soon, but he cannot let you leave the Fleshmarkets without making a deal, for it would tarnish his good name. He invites you to choose whichever of his treasures you like and buy it. Who are you, demon? The demon answers with a lengthy, barking tirade as the interpreter listens carefully to every grunt. Master Sarzaksys comes from a remote corner of the abyss extremely far from these parts. Practically no one in all Alan Shinra has heard of the magnificent place that is Master Sarzaksys' homeland. He would happily return there because that place is superior to all other realms of the abyss. However, Master Sarzaksys found himself fascinated with the concept of slavery. In his homeland, the idea of owning other sentient beings does not exist. The common practice there is to kill anyone who is not like you. Master Sarzaksys has spent a lot of time studying the sophisticated art of slaveholding and has become the most respected slave trader in the whole of Alan Shinra. Woljif can't take his eyes off the interpreter. Master Sarzaksys desires this, Master Sarzaksys wishes that. Even in the abyss, tieflings are treated like poor relations, eh? And there I was hoping things would be different here, but it looks like Arcanas have rough on every plane. Evil. This seems right. The weak must serve the strong. Listening intently to the pleased hoots of his master, the tiefling adds a trifle of approval to his monotonous speech. Master Sarzaksys is pleasantly surprised. Many of your world's inhabitants hold a strange prejudice against slavery. Master Sarzaksys wishes you the favor of the demon lord you serve. I appreciate your kind words. Your wisdom is truly impressive. With a harsh roar, Sarzaksys uses his whip to knock the chain from the tiefling's neck, a chain attached to a golden plate covered in demonic inscriptions. Deprived of his accessory, the slave quietly kneels, ignoring the bleeding wound on his neck. He finds the golden plate on the ground and hands it to you. Master Sarzaksys would like to grant you this valuable gift as a sign of his personal regard, for he has found you to be both intelligent and discerning. Only the most esteemed guests receive such tokens from Master Sarzaksys. Let this gift show your high status to all around you. Sorrow and anger fill me as I behold this piece of metal, the blood of unfortunates not yet dried upon it. Let's trade. The ugly ball of meat roars something incomprehensible and improving, or maybe threatening. Oh, okay, I was about to say, I've never seen this guy's inventory before. So maybe they'll have it all fleshed out by the time it's full release. Okay, I'd like to know more about the Fleshmarkets. Master Sarzaksys finds your curiosity commendable. He is willing to outline the basic principles of the Fleshmarkets, and the tiefling falls silent for a while, listening carefully to the demon's croaking. Then he finds the correct word. It's hierarchy. He is also willing to explain the intricacies of the highly respected occupation of slaver. It would take a lot of effort to find a place more disgusting than this one, even here in the abyss. In the old days, my warriors and I broke many slave collars and let countless slaves out of the abyss. What is this place? This place is called the Fleshmarkets because here one can buy living and healthy flesh. Slaves for housekeeping, slaves for carnal pleasure, fighting slaves, sacrificial slaves, slaves of an edible nature. Every day, hundreds of slaves are shipped here and hundreds of customers come to buy them. Where do you get your slaves? The majority of the slaves are captives seized during raids of other planes. Master Sarzaksys is happy to inform you that Golarion is one of our main supply channels. The Abyss itself supplies a fair share of slaves as well. Demons have no prejudice against enslaving their kin. Demonic slaves are more hard-wearing, and last longer than slaves from most other planes. Who runs the Fleshmarkets? Master Sarzaksys has the honor of being the informal head of the Fleshmarkets because he is the main supplier to the upper city. All the individuals who dared challenge Master Sarzaksys' primacy renounced their false claims, became his slaves, and now proudly wear his personal insignia, carved into their faces with cold iron. Wow. With a demanding crack of the whip, Sarzaksys calls one of the demons standing nearby. The latter kneels hastily, obediently hides his eyes, and extends his hand palm up. Sarzaksys seems satisfied with this display of obedience, so he lets the demon go by whipping him lightly over the shoulders and leaving a ruby-red welt on his skin. As you may have noticed, Master Sarzaksys' authority here in the Fleshmarkets is absolute. I see. The slave interprets his master's abrupt snort without words, giving you a short bow. Address the tiefling. Are you Sarzaksys' slave? The demon bursts into indignant gurgling. Even without understanding a single word, you quickly conclude that he is displeased. Master Sarzaksys wishes you to cease your attempts to bypass him and communicate directly with his property. The provenance of his property is a matter of concern to Master Sarzaksys alone, no one else. Point at the searcher. Sell me that dretch. Sarzaksys begins to snort, spraying saliva. He babbles quickly, which causes short, uncertain pauses in the slave's speech. This dretch, like the other demons in this shipment, is set aside for Lady Hepzibah. Without a doubt, this lazy waste of flesh, called today in the lower city, will never prove to be a useful worker, but he still belongs to his new mistress. She is a very influential person. Therefore, trying to deceive her would be disrespectful and dangerous, and Master Sarzaksys would never commit such a foolish act. He resents your suggestion that he is capable of doing anything of the kind. Master Sarzaksys is insulted and outraged. There are not many devices that can surpass the greed of demons, but pride is one of them. Imagine what tremendous power it has when the two are combined. As disgusting as it is for me to give this advice, listen to me. If this scoundrel feels insulted, offer him gold. Not as part of the deal, but rather as compensation for the insult and as recognition of his high status. Perhaps gold can compensate for the insult I've inflicted. The demon's grumbling abates slightly as a flicker of greed appears in his eyes. Master Sarzaksys finds your idea very reasonable. He kindly agrees to accept the sum of 30,000 gold coins to atone for the insult you've inflicted. Taking into account your unfamiliarity with local customs, Master Sarzaksys will not demand your hand or eye in recompense. For his part, Master Sarzaksys considers it undesirable to keep this dretch in his stock, for he was the cause of your disagreement. As a gesture of reconciliation, he would like to immediately release him and drive him out so this unpleasant incident can be considered settled and forgotten. Pay 30,000 gold coins. Let's leave all grievances and misunderstandings behind. As a demon, I want our positive relationship with Areelu, because she's going to be part of my little squad of demons, and I figure being good to this dretch probably goes along with that. The tiefling translates so I can satisfy his snort, though it is wholly unnecessary. You understand its meaning perfectly well. Master Sarzaksys congratulates you on a successful purchase. The dretch approaches you, glancing cautiously around. He mumbles in a quiet voice so that only you can hear his words. I have no idea why Hepzibah needed slaves, but from what I've heard, they don't live long. Becoming our property is a death sentence, no doubt about it, meaning you saved me. So I guess The searcher appears confused. It seems this miscreation is not accustomed to being shown mercy and simply doesn't know how to express his thanks. How were you captured? I've been wandering the lower city, searching for something. Never you mind what. That's not what I meant to say. It's a personal matter. Yeah, that's the right way to put it. So I was roaming around, chatting with all and sundry when the slave hunters appeared and started chasing us. They threw those who survived in the cage and brought us here. This is a typical occurrence in the abyss. Social dynamics, it's called. The strong enslave the weak. What will you do now? With a gloomy glance at you, the searcher gives a vague answer. I'll continue my search, I will. It won't be easy, but I'll prove to her that I'm smarter and wilier than she thinks. The dretch's expression is determined, even severe. What are you looking for? The dress throws a suspicious glance at you. Don't ask. That's none of your business. You caused me some trouble back in the Nexus. A mournful grimace appears on the searcher's face as an expression that could easily be mistaken for embarrassment. Let's forget about all that, all right? Just let bygones be bygones, so to speak. Of course, you hogged my magic power back in the laboratory, but you did save me. Means were square. The searcher looks at you for a while, then adds in a quiet voice, but I wouldn't have saved you. Farewell. The searcher hesitates, nervously scratching the back of his neck. He repeatedly opens his mouth to say something, but nothing comes out. Finally, he starts to mumble incoherently. You. Just be careful. That's what I'm saying. With a martyr's sigh, the searcher turns around, relieved to lose himself once again in Alan Shimmer's weary warren of alleyways. Awesome stuff. Yep. I'll take that.
Wherever my legs carry me.
That's where I came from. What's this? Oh, you gotta do that upstairs? Oh, wow. Yeah, I missed that. Okay, I think that's enough for one day. I hope all of you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave me a like down below and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I will see you all in the next video. Take care.